Hey there, geometry students. This is Mr. Zacek. I'm going to be taking you through this next unit, which is on systems of equations. And we're going to bring some stuff back that we've done previously. We've done some in algebra, and we're going to introduce some new stuff. And today we're going to start in that introduction with the equation of a circle. And so, we've been dealing with circles, but we haven't dealt with circles on the coordinate plane. And here is this formula, um, x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. So here's what we have to understand, that the center is the point hk, and the radius in this instance is represented by r. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice happens a lot in the equations of functions, whether it's a circle or in a parabola or with an absolute value, is if we're squaring something or we're taking the absolute value, we often find that the sign changes in that. And so that'll kind of come into play. So here's what we do. We need to find the center, take the opposite number after x and y, find the radius is going to be the square root of r squared, plot the center, count out the radius. We're going to use our compass points, north, south, east, and west. And then you're going to use a compass to draw the circle. Now, I'm not going to be using the compass tool on here. It won't work with the graph that I have. But I'll use the circle tool. But on your tests and exams, you want to use a compass for this. So we look at this equation, and first of all, we just want to recognize this format here, that we've got x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals the radius squared. So we need to have a little bit of recognition that this is a circle formula. We see that plus sign in there. That's one of the things that indicates to us. So our center, now here's what the rule says, is you're going to flip the sign. You see it's minus h, so it's minus 2. Well, that means positive 2 is the coordinate of the center, and then minus 1, so that means positive 1. So our center is at the point 2, 1. And then, of course, we have r squared equals 16. And so when we take the square root of that, we get 4. And we're not interested with the negative root because we're looking at a distance. So now that we've identified the center and the radius, we're going to plot on our grid here. We're going to go 2, 1. Okay, plot your center. And now plot 4 points each to the north, south, east, and west. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to the north. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the south. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the east. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the west. Okay. Now again, on paper, if I was doing this, what I would use is my our compass. Here I've got the little circle tool, so we're going to connect those points here. You can freehand that as you're doing it on your notes. And there's our circle, and I'm going to write the equation x minus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 1 quantity squared equals 16. Okay. So as you go through, I'll kind of point out where some of the common errors are that we make in this. But let's look at number 2. Now, number 2, here again, we see x plus 3 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 9. So that plus sign in the middle there and the squared are helping me see that this is a circle. Now here's where we're going to take the opposite. So I've got positive 3, so the center is going to be negative 3, and positive 2, so that means the center is the point negative 3, negative 2. And then r squared equals 9, so we take the square root and we get 3. All right. Now that we've identified the center and the radius, on our graph we're going to go left 3, down 2. Whoops. Obviously the accuracy of your tool is going to help here. As your pencil sharpened, as your compass, halfway decent. Then we're going to go 3 to the north, 3 to the south, 3 to the east, we'll get over there, and 3 to the west. Take your compass and connect the points of your circle and label it, which is x plus 3 quantity squared plus y plus 2 quantity squared equals 9. All right, so again, just want to point out that what's happening is we're flipping the sign. When you see, as you look at question number 1, negative 2 became positive 2, negative 1, positive 1. Here, positive 3 became negative 3, positive 2 became negative 2. Okay, so as we look at our number 3 and number 4, in number 3, what is our center? Okay, well, our center is going to be the point 4, negative 3. How did I do that again? Okay, minus 4, switch the sign. Positive 4 plus 3, switch the sign. Negative 3. R squared is 25. Take the square root of both sides. Square root of 25 is 5. Some people will ask, does it always have to be a perfect square? No, it doesn't. All right. Many times it will be. So we go right 1, 2, 3, 4, down 3. Then we're going to go north 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, north 5, south 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, east 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, west 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, and you want to use your come on. Whoops. Having a hard time just getting the circle tool there, but we'll get it. Okay, so 4, negative 3 again. Okay. Circle tool. Okay. So we just make there's your circle. And we label it the quantity x minus 4 squared plus the quantity y plus 3 squared equals 25. Okay, now 4 is also an equation for a circle, and although we don't see it, what are we really doing here is we're subtracting 0. So in this case, the center for this is 0, 0. Okay, and then r squared equals 36. So we take the square root of that and we get 6. So this one, from a graphing standpoint, our center is at 0, 0. We're going north 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. South 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. West 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we get your circle tool. Take your circle tool and plot it out. Okay, which would be the compass. And we're going to label it. So that's x squared plus y squared equals 36. Okay, now as we just look to flip that around, and now we want to write the equation, we just have to reverse that process. So again, it's, x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. So as we substitute in there, what's going to happen if they're both positive? It's going to be x minus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 7 quantity squared equals 3 squared. And if you want, you can write that as 9. So you're going to see it both ways. You'll see it as 3 squared. You'll see it as 9 squared. All right, so number 2, here we have x minus negative 6 quantity squared plus y minus 8 quantity squared equals 8 squared. Well, what happens in the first one is when we're subtracting a negative, it's like adding. And some of you might say, well, I see that right from the get-go. Well, and that's fine. You can go right into that step. I'm okay with you going from here to here if you recognize that. All right, number 3, same type of concept here. We're going to do x minus negative 3 quantity squared plus y minus negative 5 quantity squared equals 12 squared. So the two negatives become positive. So hopefully you're seeing there the y of how the signs change. From negative 3 it becomes positive 3, and that negative 5 becomes positive 5. So that just reverses. Okay, and then our last one, 0, 0. So we have x minus 0 quantity squared plus y minus 0 quantity squared equals 7 squared. And again, you might just recognize that right from the start as x squared plus y squared equals 49. Okay. So just 2 more questions to finish this up here. And number 5, as we look at this, what is the equation of a circle whose diameter is 24 and whose center is at the origin? All right, so just, a little bit of a wrinkle. So if the diameter is 24, the radius is going to be 24 divided by 2. Remember, the radius is half. And center, the origin. The origin is the point 0, 0. So our center is going to be at the point 0, 0. So we're going to have x squared plus y squared equals 12 squared, or x squared plus y squared equals 144. Again, I just shortcutted that. And if you want to see what the long way, look back at number 4. Okay, last one for today is number 6. What are the coordinates of the center of this circle? Well, what are we adding or subtracting to x? Nothing. So for the center, it's going to be 0. And now that positive 7 comes out as negative 7. Okay? Now this one doesn't ask for the radius, but I just want to do it because it's different. R squared is 11, therefore R would be the square root of 11. So it's not always that your radius is going to be a perfect square or a whole number, so just be alert for that. All right, so hopefully that helps you. This is a very popular Regents question in particular, so they love to incorporate this, so hopefully we're feeling real confident with that. All right, goodbye. So I can bring this up. Good luck with this stuff.